Hey everyone, it's Rylan. It is Saturday, January 6th at 4:12 p.m. For those of you that follow my channel, hello again. And for those of you that are new, hi. So today I want to talk about the intensity of the way that individuals with borderline personality disorder feel their emotions. Individuals with BPD feel emotions on a very heightened level compared to neurotypical human beings. And the reason that I'm bringing this up and want to explain this premise that the way that I, a person with BPD, and others with BPD feel things to a heightened degree is because I've really been struggling with something this week in terms of someone in my life that I've just been having a hard time with because I feel like they are abandoning me, which is a pillar of BPD. Specifically in the DSM-5, which is the Diagnostic Statistical Manual, which is the book that's used to diagnose psychiatric illnesses. I think, honestly, it might even be the first one, like number one on the list, is blah 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 intense. I don't know if intense is the word, but sure, intense fears of real or perceived abandonment and frantic efforts to avoid it. So right now I'm feeling that one of my very close friends who has not been responding to my texts hates me and is ignoring me and never wants to talk to me again. That may not be true, is the truth of the matter, but that's where my brain is right now. And as a result of me feeling this, my entire week has been fucking horrible. So the reason that I'm here is because I would like to shed light on the fact that the way that I am reacting to this situation, as dramatic and unwarranted and extreme as it may look to other people, specifically me, for my friends and my family, the way that I feel is valid and makes sense because I have a personality disorder. So I'm just going to start with a quote to kind of delve into this notion that the way that I and other individuals feel things is different. This is by a psychiatrist that created a specific modality of therapy for borderline personality disorder, which is called DBT. And she said, people with BPD are like people with third-degree burns over 90% of their bodies. Lacking emotional skin, they feel agony at the slightest touch or movement. So suffice it to say is yes, I am extremely sensitive. And something that a lot of people don't know, because it is like a relatively new-ish definition or word or whatever label that BPD is also being characterized as, is called UPPD, which stands for Emotionally Unstable Personality Disorder. I mean, that on its own should fucking explain some shit, right? Emotionally unstable? Oh, that's really intense. That's like a scary thing to say, I feel like. But yeah, the reason that I'm sitting here is I found it really difficult and frustrating and invalidating this whole week to try and explain to the people that love and care about me, that I in turn love and care about, the way that I feel about this situation. Because the bottom line is, like I said, this person isn't texting me. So I have all these notions running around in my head. They hate me. They're leaving you. They're never going to talk to you again. You did something wrong. You're fat. You're ugly. You're a failure. Blah, blah, blah. They never liked you. So when I try and explain these feelings to the people that care about me and that I care about, a lot of the time, if not all the time, their responses are somewhere along the lines of, you're being dramatic, Rylan. Let it go. That's not true. Or get over it. Or, yeah, you're overreacting. And a lot of this week has been me literally having to pathologize myself and basically lay out the symptoms of BPD and say, no, I understand that you think that I'm overreacting to something as minuscule as someone not responding to my text, but for me, these emotions are really real and they're very strong and they're heightened. So to be told that I'm being dramatic is extraordinarily invalidating to my experience as a human being, but it's also invalidating to a disorder that I struggle with on a daily basis. I have a personality disorder. Personality disorders affect the way that you interact with the world and the way in which you feel emotions, to the extent that they impede and impair your ability to function in the world. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a disorder. It would just be, okay, you're a sensitive human being. But obviously, myself and individuals diagnosed with BPD, we cross that line of feeling things strongly. And it's not always bad things. It's not always fear of abandonment. I can love so deeply. I can love deeply than most of the people in the world. I am extraordinarily empathetic and compassionate because I feel those feelings stronger. So they're not always negative, but when they are negative, it's like, holy fucking shit, watch out, motherfucker. Like, it's intense. It's intense. And so I want to read something that I found online. I was trying to find resources for my friend because we got in a fight because they were invalidating something that I was panicking about, something that was very triggering and distressing to me. And they were saying, Ryland, there's no reason for you to be reacting this way. It's not a big fucking deal. And something that I hear from one of my family members a lot is the let it go, it's not a big deal. Who cares? They didn't text you back, whatever, they're busy. So this little thing says, the most important thing you can do to help a friend with BPD is to take some time just to listen and validate his feelings. And here it is. This is like, put it on a fucking billboard. You may not necessarily agree with his evaluation of a situation or feel that the intensity of his feelings is justified by the situation. Strong emotional reactions are part of the disorder. However, you can still let him know that you understand how he's feeling and how difficult that must be. Receiving validation from another person can provide tremendous relief to someone with BPD. That is so important, and I could literally stop my video right now and just say that's all you need to understand, but like, I'm gonna continue. But yeah, I think like the advice for people that have someone that has BPD in your life is to understand that they're not being dramatic. And for you, a human being that is watching this that does struggle with this, is you're not being dramatic. You are fucking entitled to feel the way that you feel, as is anyone, neurotypical or not, BPD or not, bipolar, anxiety disorders, whatever. Everyone is entitled to feel the way that they feel. You can't judge someone how they are dealing with someone's death. You can't judge someone on a certain situation that happened in their life. We are all entitled to feel the way that we feel. It is in nobody's right or power or place to judge how another person is feeling. Now, I understand, with that being said, when it comes to something as extreme of the intensity of emotions that a human being with BPD experiences to things that may seem really insignificant to other people, that someone might look at that and say, why are you freaking out because of this? This is really small. That's where compassion needs to come in, and we need to understand that, again, it is not anyone's place to judge how someone is feeling, but it becomes even more important when you consider that this human being has a personality disorder. That's just, I really want to make that clear, that as insignificant as situations might feel, it's valid. It's valid, and the reason it's valid is because that person, they got a little extra going on. They got a little spice happening in their brain, but that doesn't mean that they're dramatic or they're overreacting. You know what I mean? So another thing that I want to read that I think is really, really illuminating and insightful is this. This is in a very highly regarded book called I Hate You, Don't Leave Me. I highly suggest it. Literally, if you have borderline personality disorder, if you have someone in your life that has it, or if you're just fucking curious, or if you want to read a good book about psychology, Read I Hate You, Don't Leave Me. It's so highly regarded in the mental health community, and I am loving it. Like, it's interesting, it's stimulating. A plus. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Okay, so I screenshotted this as I was reading this because I was like, holy shit. But okay, here we go. A borderline suffers a kind of emotional hemophilia. She lacks the clotting mechanism needed to moderate her spurts of feeling. Prick the delicate skin of a borderline and she will emotionally bleed to death. Sustained periods of contentment are foreign to the borderline. Chronic emptiness depletes him until he is forced to do anything to escape. In the grip of these lows, the borderline is prone to a myriad of impulsive self-destructive acts. Drug and alcohol binges, eating marathons, anorexic fasts, bulimic purges, gambling forays, shopping sprees, sexual promiscuity, and self-mutilation. He may attempt suicide, often not with the intent to die, but to feel something to confirm that he is alive. So I think that does a really, really, really good job of explaining how intense things can feel to people. And again, like I just feel really alienated and invalidated by a great many of people this week that I know all have good intentions. I know they care about me. They want my best interest. Them saying, let it go, Rylan, it's not a big deal, is their way of saying, like, don't let something affect you. Like, it's okay, move on. But it's not that simple. I wish and pray to Jesus Christ and all of his friends up in the sky that I was not like this. I don't want to cry, but I wish that I didn't have such extreme and volatile reactions to things that in the big picture sometimes aren't even logical or supported by reality, that basically have no basis behind this. The fact that this human being and I haven't had like a real conversation since last Saturday, a week ago today, that may not mean anything. They might just be busy. Or could mean everything and that they really don't want to talk to me anymore. But I don't like that my mind jumps to those extremes of thinking that it's the end of the world and catastrophizing events that may not have any basis in reality. I don't like that. It makes me feel stupid, it makes me feel crazy, and it makes me feel weak. And I don't like how specifically this week has been so tumultuous and draining and just sad because of something that's wrong in my brain. And it's really difficult to have people not understand that the way that I'm feeling is not just Rylan being Rylan, that it's a part of a disorder that permeates every aspect of my life. So I just wish people understood that, because I really don't like, but that's a mild way of saying it, I fucking hate it when people call me dramatic. I hate it. I don't think it's fair to me, and I think it's rude and it's disrespectful, and I've been called dramatic my whole life. And I am an actor, so like, yeah, some of the ways that, I am dramatic and in some ways, extra might be another way to say it. But when it comes to me feeling something like depression or rejection, that's not me being dramatic. It's not. So that's what I want to say. And I just want to get the point across that if you are an ally to an individual that has BPD, is just understand that this person probably doesn't want to feel this way and be panicking about something that based in reality maybe isn't a big deal. That they probably don't want to feel that way. They don't want to feel so helpless and gutted and hurt when they're not getting the love and affection from someone that they need, perhaps their favorite person, or FP. I have a whole video on what that is. I'm sure that other people with borderline don't like that we have the capacity to idolize someone and to put all of our love and affection and attention into one human being and sometimes base our personalities and worth on another human being and be so codependent. I know, and I'm sure other people don't like the fact that we can split on people, that I can love someone so much, and as soon as they hurt me or I sense abandonment or something is wrong, I can immediately flip on them and hate them. I know that people with borderline that we don't like, that we self-harm if that's something that they do. I don't like that. I don't like that about myself. I don't like that the first time that I hurt myself was because someone that I liked romantically didn't text me back for 13 hours. I don't like that. So I'm not saying feel bad for me because I have to deal with these things. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is let's just have a little more compassion for everyone in the world. We never know what someone is going through, but when it specifically comes to BPD, which is why I'm making this video, is I just want people to understand, for those of you that have someone in your life that has it, or even an individual that might be watching this video, is that your feelings are valid. They're not dramatic. You're not overreacting. You're not making a mountain out of a molehill. The way that this person or you are feeling is fine. Try not to judge it. I know what it's like to feel fucking crazy and to not be able to get through your days because you feel so helpless because of whatever trigger is bothering you. But you got to remember that this is a personality disorder, and this isn't you as a human being. As crippling as mental illnesses can be and how much they affect your life, remember that that's not you as a human being. That's a facet of your brain that's being a fucking asshole and is affecting your life. But you're not weak, you're not crazy, you're not anything. And to the people that love someone with BPD, they're not crazy. They're not weak. They're not dramatic. It's just the way that they interpret and interact with the world is severe enough that it is classified as a disorder. So I will leave you with that, my beautiful human beings of the world. And I hope that this brought some clarity to something that personally, like I said, I've been struggling with this like a mofo this whole week, of having to explain to people I'm not being dramatic. I have a personality disorder. And for those of you that do have BPD, to understand that your feelings are valid and don't allow anyone to make you feel bad about the way that you're reacting to a situation, because the fact of the matter is, it's out of your control. Yes, you can go to therapy. I'm in therapy 3 times a week. I'm working very hard on myself. You can learn coping mechanisms to not hurt yourself when you're in a state of crisis. But the fact of the matter is that we are wired differently, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with you at all. You're perfect. You're just a little more sensitive than other people, and that is not always a bad thing. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have an incredible day. I hope I was able to help someone. If you're still with me at the end of this video, congratulations. Buy yourself a cookie, get some chocolate, do what you gotta do because you're amazing. And just remember, whoever you are that's watching this, you're a fucking warrior. All right, guys, have a good day.